At the heart of Ghana's recurrent economic difficulties has been the management of public finances, especially during election years, and the challenges in cleaning up the post-election mess. Our public financial management and our fiscal excesses, particularly in the run-up to the 2012 elections, was very damaging to our prospects of managing the economy that is trying to climb up the middle income ladder. The economy ended 2012 with a fiscal deficit of 12.2% of GDP, 2011 of 11.7% of GDP deficit, and 2013 of 11.7% of GDP, and 2014 of 11.9% of a fiscal deficit, before falling to 6.7% in 2015, but rose again to 9.3% in 2016. We recorded in this period, for the first time in Ghana's history, double-digit fiscal deficits in 3 consecutive years, and plunged into a deep fiscal hole. The debt pile-up began, debt service became burdensome on the budget, inflation soared, external trade balances worsened, and the economy became more and more vulnerable to external shocks. This poor state of public finances, weak implementation, and lack of policy credibility resulted in Ghana requesting an IMF bailout in August 2014. Since there was no meat on the bone, to fill the deep hole in public finances, government resorted to some tough fiscal measures, notably the increase in the tax burden on every conceivable consumer item and production activities. In addition to hiring freezes, there were cuts to a number of areas of spending, most notably cuts to research allowances for lecturers, nursing training allowances, teacher training allowances. By the end of 2016, the fundamentals of the economy were generally weak. Real GDP growth declined from 9.1% in 2008 and to 3.4% in 2016. Growth in agriculture was declining, growth in industry was declining. The public debt, which stood at 32% of GDP in 2008, had reached 70.2% of GDP by 2014. And at that point, Ghana became classified as a country at high risk of debt distress. A country at high risk of debt distress. And we are still trying to get ourselves out of this classification. Interest rates were high, and the banking system was weak. With rising unemployment, Unemployed Graduates Association became the new enviable club in town. When you look at the data, ladies and gentlemen, the overall performance of the previous government on the macroeconomic indicators, when you look at them, you will notice distinctly a different performance between 2009 and the 2011 period, and then the 2012 to the 2016 period. The 2012 to the 2016 period was much, much worse, even though the external environment was favorable.